watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight at 9 o'clock. I'm Chris Flanagan. And our top story tonight, D.C. police shut down a robbery ring at the Chinatown Walgreens. The suspects, no strangers to that store. In fact, police say it was an inside job. Our reporter, Marielle Carbone, live from Chinatown tonight. And Marielle, police say this group has been terrorizing the Chinatown store for months now.
Yeah, that's right, Chris. But tonight, police trying to ease some of those fears as we learn more details about what happened at this store here. Police say not only was this an inside job, but also a family affair. 2 of the 3 suspects arrested include a store manager and his nephew. Now, according to documents from the U.S. Attorney's Office, 33-year-old Michael Robinson, a store manager here, used both his position and his information and knowledge to conspire with Kamani Williams and Gianni Robinson, that is his nephew, to commit at least 4 armed robberies here at the Walgreens. Now, the 3 were connected by phone records and video evidence before and after the crimes. The latest robbery, or really attempted robbery, was on Sunday, and in that case, Williams was shot by a special police officer working at this store. He is in critical condition. Tonight, Police Chief Pamela Smith speaking directly to the Chinatown community.
We've dismantled a conspiracy that invoked fear in the community and repeatedly took away the community's sense of safety. It's another example of a small group of suspects returning over and over to target the same area.
Now, just yesterday, the mayor's office launched its Safe Commercial Corridor Hub here in Chinatown, and that is intended to help curb crime while also addressing some issues as far as connecting people to services in need here in this area. Now, Chris, police say this investigation is not over. In fact, we know there is at least 1 more suspect. Those documents from the U.S. Attorney's Office say that that 4th suspect is actually also an employee at this store and was in a relationship with the manager, Michael Robinson. So we are still waiting to hear more on if that person may be arrested in the future. Reporting live from Chinatown tonight, I'm Marielle Carbone, DC News Now.
All right, big break in that case, Marielle, thanks. Meanwhile, developing right now in Virginia, 2 men are dead, a 3rd fighting to survive after a violent afternoon at a trade school in Prince William County. Our Northern Virginia reporter, Max Marcillo, was the first reporter on the ground there today. And Max, police say this is just a horrifying scene.
And that investigation is still going on right now. We're going to show you it is a much smaller police presence, but a large part of this area on Infantry Ridge Road is still blocked off because of that investigation. This is a training center for the Electrical Workers Union in our region. Tonight, it is a crime scene. Just before 3:30 this afternoon, Prince William County Police got multiple 911 calls coming from inside this building, telling them there was a stabbing. Officers rushed here and say when they arrived, they saw a man with a knife near the front door.
Essentially, what we're responding to was an active violence situation in the training center, and they were confronted by the suspect with a knife.
Chief Peter Newsham said then officers shot the stabbing suspect, killing him. And when they went inside, they found 2 men with stab wounds. Both were brought to the hospital, where one died and the other is in critical condition.
You can imagine it's horrific. I have not been inside. I've seen a couple of images inside. It's horrific. You got folks that come out here to do some training, and next thing you know, one of them's lost his life. And another one's struggling for his life in a local hospital.
Police say they have the knife, a part of the investigation that will soon be taken over by the Northern Virginia Critical Incident Response Team, which investigates police shootings in many of our cities and counties. Another part of that investigation will be body-worn camera footage, which Chief Newsham says the officers did have on. And tonight we're hearing for the first time from members of that union, IBEW Local Union 26. We're going to show you because this video right now they just posted on their Facebook a little under an hour ago. It's the first statement they have put out since this shooting. In this video, these 2 men acknowledging that yes, there was an incident here, and what they're saying is that the training center and the school, both right behind me, both where this incident happened, will be closed for the rest of the week. They said they don't have any additional answers, though they acknowledge their members might and probably do have many questions. Police are also acknowledging that, and they say one of those questions we should get answered within the next day or so is the names of the people involved and how old they are. Reporting in Manassas, Max Marcella, DC News Now.
All right, Max, a lot of new information there. Max, thanks, appreciate it. All right, let's get some positive news right now. Chief Meteorologist Janessa Webb, not a bad night out there, and tomorrow from Valentine's Day looks pretty nice.
Yeah, I'm trying to show you guys some love across the DMV. You definitely deserve it. After this morning, right, that big winter storm coming through, impacting a lot of sections of the DMV, and now we're starting to clear out. It's a lovely night out there. It's deceiving, though. It's quite chilly, and it's going to get chillier overnight into tomorrow morning. I have the upper 20s in a lot of locations that are going to return. I think the big story, besides the snow, has been the winds that have been very blustery throughout the day. You have a soil that is very saturated at this point. So we're going to watch for trees potentially coming down for the next 24 hours because we do have wind gusts picking up to 40 to 45 miles per hour out towards the peak areas, out towards the Mountain State region, where they dealt with a significant snowfall of about 4 to 8 inches this morning. Sustained winds, that's a constant wind speed, really reduced across the DC metro area and Northern Virginia at this time. Really, that storm system has pulled out, but the aftermath out towards Maine, and that's why you're still seeing a center of circulation and high pressure to our west. These two, they clash, and that's why you have a substantial wind flow at this hour. Wind chills are a big issue for the DC metro area, back into the feel-like of the upper 30s in some locations, mid-30s from Winchester into Martinsburg. Chris, we have lovely weather for your Wednesday. I have your full forecast coming up.
All right, breaking right now in Texas, a car crash into a hospital emergency room has happened in Austin. Look at here. 10 people are hurt. At least one person has died. First responders rushed 2 children and 2 adults to other hospitals for treatment. Authorities saying right now they don't think the crash was intentional. Of course, we'll update you as we get more information here into the newsroom. And history breaking tonight here in D.C. The GOP-led House voting to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. He is charged with willfully and systematically refusing to enforce immigration laws and breaching the public trust. The measure passed by just 1 vote after failing last week. This is the first cabinet secretary facing charges in nearly 150 years. The impeachment charges go to the Senate next, where it's expected to die. Well, whether we see a new sports arena in Alexandria is still up in the air tonight. The Virginia House of Delegates just passed a bill that would create a sports authority to place a new stadium in Potomac Yard. An identical bill now heads to the Senate, where the deal path forward is a bit murkier. Senator Louise Lucas, who chairs the Finance and Appropriations Committee, said Monday the bill is dead as far as she's concerned. Others in the Senate say it could be revived, perhaps in budget negotiations at the end of the legislative session. All right, well, do you recognize them? Prince George's County Police looking for 2 more people of interest in connection to the deadly shooting of a 2-year-old boy. This is the first person you see here. About to see the second in a moment. Police say the 2 men were spotted at a convenience store on New Hampshire Avenue in Silver Spring last week. Police say they drove up in a carjacked Ford Explorer. Now, the same SUV 2 suspects drove off in after Jeremy Pukixeris was murdered Thursday night. And today, a memorial growing outside the scene in Langley Park. Jeremy's mother was also shot. She is expected to survive. So far, police have made 2 arrests. Israel Fuentes Jr. and Johnny Turkios are being held without bond. In the district, people and pets need a place to live after a huge tree fell on top of homes in Southeast. Our Randy Bass talked with one of the homeowners who returned from a shopping trip to find his house smashed in.
Yeah, we just had a chance to talk to one of the homeowners here along Branch Avenue. He says everyone got out okay or wasn't home at the time that this huge tree fell right before 3 o'clock this afternoon. DC Fire and EMS crews say 6 people, 1 dog, and a few pet birds are all displaced from these now condemned homes. Right now, it's not entirely clear what caused it to fall, but today's strong winds and soggy soil could have made for a dangerous combination. Homeowners here are just thankful everyone is all right.
Well, we were out shopping, and my wife and my daughter had been out to a meeting, and when she came in the house, She didn't notice that the tree was there, but when she went to her room, she noticed a hole in the roof. My dog is fine and my birds are fine, so I'm happy that I'm fine and they're fine, and that goes the same for all other neighbors.
Yeah, tonight the Red Cross is also on scene, making sure that everybody has a safe place to go tonight. In Southeast, I'm Randy Bass, DC News Now.
All right, now to a pretty cool story. A Bethesda fisherman reels in a Maryland record. Get this, over the weekend, Jean-Philippe Lartigue caught a rainbow trout weighing 17 pounds. Here it is. That is 3 pounds heavier than the previous record set back in 1987. The trout, by the way, was caught at Devil's Backbone County Park in western Maryland. Nicely done.